stuff. Today's episode is brought to you by Root Beer Booch. Tastes like mushrooms. I like it though. It's root beer, but it's made like old school with like the sarsaparilla and
I'm on the celery thing, bro. Like I'm drinking celery every morning. Apparently,
is it good for you or what?
I was like, I don't know. It's supposed to like clean you out.
Sounds like it makes you skinny for sure. All right, I got to go live on Instagram real quick. Okay, go live. Cool, and we are here. My name is Robert Lyon, here with Gino Nadarov. We are speaking to you, the good people of the world. We're live on all social media platforms except for some of the weird ones. And we're going to be spitting the fire, talking about money, money mindset, and basically bringing it to you. The only thing that's really been on my mind lately is just business credit, man. I'm obsessed with getting people access to business credit, changing their lives, getting people funding. If you're interested in getting funding or you need capital for your next adventure, go to creditleveragex.com. We'll get rolling. You got anything before we kind of jump into the questions, Gino?
No, I mean, other than like, it's a beautiful opportunity to have a business credit, like you said. Sometimes, business credit is like that. It's like that dream that you wake up, you're like, man, I wish I had my life like that, and then I never get it that way. But then, like, it's really a reality. So it's like, as long as you can make as long as you can dream, you can make it into a reality. Is what I guess what I want to say is, don't think that certain, your dreams are not real. You just have to put them into perspective and put the hard work in, and then you can actually make it into something that's real in the real world.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also good to know what your dreams and goals are, right? Yeah. There's always new levels too. It's like, a year ago, I'd probably kill to be where I am right now. But then now I'm here and I'm like, okay, what's the next level? What's the next goal? Like, what are our targets? That's what we've really been learning with Grant Cardone is like, you need targets, and then you need to wake up every day and fight like hell to make them happen. Otherwise, it's just going to slip by and you're going to get old and you're going to wake up one day and be like, what the fuck did I do with my life? So you got to have something you're striving for and keep pushing.
Yes, exactly. And you have to have a purpose. And I think, I went to the funeral yesterday, when a family, grandma passed away. So we had, was just realizing this lady lived for 94 years. And at the same time, she'd given so much back to people that, so many people showed up. It was like over like 300 people, and what I'm trying to say is like, when you do a lot of things in the world and you help a lot of people are going to, show their respects to you. Yeah. And then by her work, her belief, she was a godly woman. Her belief in God was like the main thing that kind of like drove everybody there. And she's prayed for everybody. She would be this person that would just, give back in that way, in a spiritual way. So as long as you find what is that thing that your purpose in your life and what you want to do on just not only for yourself, for your family, but how are you going to give back to the world? And that's really what it comes down to. And when you do that, then you're actually going to be fulfilled. And I think that's what everybody needs to find.
Yeah. And it also comes from, the spice of life. You kind of got to experiment a lot, and then you'll find things that you do for people that make you happy, right? And then you just need to do more of that. And it's not about being happy all the time. It's about having an impact, helping others, doing something, though, that you consider worthwhile, right?
Exactly.
I think that's what it's all about. So now we're going to get into some questions. We're going to empty the clip. All right. We got these questions from the audience, from people out there. If you want to have us answer some questions, drop them in the comments and we'll get to them. But yeah, we'll basically start from the top. So I put this question in here. Actually, this one was myself that I thought, but I heard this good example of, what the rich do that the poor don't. And it made me think of you, Gino. So I think it's kind of cool. So the way that it goes is basically, the question is, what do rich people do that poor people don't, right? And the answer is cool. And it made me think of you as what poor people do is they don't understand money, right? They don't understand finances. Typically, what they'll do is they'll get a job and they think that money is just to pay their bills and skate by, right? That's what they think money is. That's all they think money is for. It's like to just barely get by, and that's a pretty low standard to live for life. And then the middle class, what the middle class do is they think that they need to get money so that they can buy a nicer car or a bigger house, right? And that's still kind of just sliding by. But what rich people do and what you do all the time, and you kind of beat it over, like I've learned this from you especially, is you use money as a tool, right? Money is just a tool to, get your time back. It's all about, you can get nice cars and nice houses as well, but it's a way to use it to create more wealth, right? And whenever I heard that, I was like, fuck, beats that into my head pretty much weekly. But what else do you think about? What do rich people do that poor people don't?
It's like that one thing that, like, I beat myself over the head over. So when I say it to you, I'm saying it to myself over and over, because I find myself like, making sure I stay in that mindset, because it really, it's like, you always have to realize that, money is just a tool. It's just having, having money is just, it gives you the ability to do other things with it. It has no value. We give it value, but if we don't actually use it, it doesn't do anything, right? It just sits there. It pays your bills, like you said, it pays your expenses, it pays your livelihood, but that's not what it's meant to do. Money is not meant to be paying your lifestyle. Okay, let me explain to that. The reason I say money, I'm going to separate two words: money and cash flow. So they're both money, but there's a little difference. The difference is money is a stationary thing. It's a hard physical thing you can touch, you can hold. And this money is something that you can use to be able to multiply your money. And you have to use it, and you have to be able to buy things that are able to create more money and more wealth and long-term wealth, and where whatever you buy actually appreciates, versus something that dollar, as we know, is an asset that depreciates. So you have to convert your dollars, your money, to an appreciating asset or a cash flowing asset that allows you to bring in more of that same depreciating asset, which you can use to pay for your livelihood and your expenses and your daily day, travels and whatever you do. This drink that we're drinking, this is an expense. This is you drink it, it's gone. It's like disposable. Money is the same thing. So, but you have to have it. You have to keep having it every single month. And the only way you can do that is by you have to generate more of it. You have to generate more of it. But that's what money really is, and that's what I think that I, tell myself, tell you, everybody around you, like, you have to use it as a tool to create more wealth, and then generational wealth. But the only way you do that is actually have something that appreciates, that actually goes up in value, or that multiplies your money.
Or that's worth more than money, right?
Exactly.
Trash,
that's worth
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But the systems that we build, and the cars, you buy cars, you rent them out. You buy houses, you rent them out. Like the systems, the money it's a generation machine, but the money is just a tool. And I think that was kind of cool.
For sure.
Is there anything else you think that poor people do that rich people don't?
I mean, poor people pay for they use their money, their actual time to make money. So they exchange time for money. Poor people, they use the money they make to pay for their expenses, instead of putting the money to work, then having the whatever they put the money to work for actually pay for your expenses. So you have to put the money to work. The other thing is using money, spending your time and money, whatever time you spend on making money, it better be worth your time, because regardless of what you're doing in your life, if you're not making an impact, if you're not doing something that's valuable, I'm talking about like helping other people, creating services, whether it's renting a car, whether it's renting a house, whether it's doing a car wash, or even have a laundromat, whatever you're going to be doing, or if you just have business services like consulting services, maybe you want to do like a therapy, or you want to help people that with marriages or kids, or whatever you're trying to do. As long as you're doing something that's going to bring value, then from that time you're able to make, you don't really have a limit on how much money you make, as long as you're able to bring in enough clients. And the way you can do that is by leveraging. And the way you make more money is through leverage. So money is a tool, but you have to be able to leverage to make more of it. So and that's really the key. And I think a lot of people that are broke, they don't leverage anything. Okay, they have no leverage. Their leverage is their job, and if the job goes away, they're like lost. They don't have anything else to do in their life. Or if they have a side gig that's not consistent, they're not leveraged. They don't have anybody working for them. They're usually working for someone else, and they don't have any other assets other than maybe their real estate house that they own or a car that they own. They don't have cash flowing assets. They have assets that are liabilities. A car is a liability if you own it and you drive it. A house is a liability if you own it and you live in it. It's a liability because at the end of the day, your shit goes down, things break, you got to fix it, you got to spend money on it. If that house isn't making you money, it's a liability. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, but you own the house, you appreciate, but it's still a liability. The only time it becomes an asset is when it actually makes you money. Okay, right. Anything that becomes the only way you can classify assets is things that make you money. And I think the rich are very good at making things make them money, whatever it is, right? If it could be like just me and you talking. Like, we help people, but we generate income. So whatever you're doing, you have to be cash flowing. Your activity has to be generating more income in order for you to be able to, make more money. So the goal is to always generate more income. But the thing is, you have to be able to do it in a way where your time is spent, wisely. If you're working for someone else and that's not in line with your goals, and like if you want to become a CEO of, let's say, a company like, I don't know, any company, that you want to get into. You want to become the CEO of Google. If you want to become CEO of Google, you're gonna have to work a lot of hours and a lot of days, and sacrifice a lot of time to become CEO of Google. Okay, you're gonna have to become like the best programmer and God knows what, in order to sacrifice all that time just to become a title. Get that title. So don't go after the titles. Go after the lifestyle, right? Yeah. But also create the lifestyle that you want, and if it really comes, it translates to money. So people that are rich, they don't really go after titles. They don't care if you tell me, hey, you're just some guy in California that makes a bunch of money. I'd rather be that than CEO of Boeing or Raytheon or Rocketdyne or any of these major companies, because to me that doesn't really do anything for me. It doesn't make me feel better that I'm a CEO or a car of some other major brand or company. It doesn't do anything. At the end of these are just brands, and they are really good at making money. And they do is they leverage people. They leverage you. If you work for any of these companies, you're basically leveraged. You are their leverage. You are their asset. You become their asset. You don't want to be the asset. You want to be the owner that has assets.
Yeah. So I was watching this video, and he's like, if I only make $10 an hour, and then 2 bags of Lay's potato chips is $10, and then it only takes 2 potatoes to make a bag of Lay's potato chips, that means I'm only working for 2 potatoes an hour. It's like, okay, then you're not doing the right thing, right? You need to be working for more potatoes. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Sounds about right.
The other thing is, like, poor people don't own anything, right? They rent their car, they rent their house, they rent their job, they rent their clothes. Like, you gotta own something. Yeah, that's my main takeaway for creating wealth.
Absolutely.
We have a system. We give you leverage to get you money. We teach you how to turn it into business cash flow, and then you buy real world assets like real estate, land, or other businesses. And that's kind of the main way for people to get rich and how to break out of the matrix. All right, I think that's good. Let's go to the next one. Right? How to get a no personal guarantee funding. Right. So this is a big one. There's 2 sides of it, and we've recently just figured out more how to get people loans, no-doc loans, how to get people business credit cards where you don't have to personally guarantee the funding, right? But if you just go into a bank and say, I want $50,000, no doc, right? The people are just going to laugh at you, right? There has to be a system that actually makes it happen, that actually makes it real, right? And the main ways that we get people funding, obviously, if you get your credit as high as it possibly can, you're going to be able to get more. You still don't know our system, so you still got to join Credit Leverage X, but we have a system, and it involves personal credit. Your business has to be making a lot of money. If you have a business that's making a lot of money, it's easy to get funding. And then the third way that we've recently just basically totally mastered inside Credit Leverage X to get no guaranteed personal funding is we get you vendor lines of credit on your business, and we stack them until the point where your business is established. Like, first you have to set up your foundation. You have to get more and more lines of credit reporting to your business. And then when you go in and apply for business credit cards, you have to make sure that they're only asking for your EIN number, right? Not your social. And then you basically just have to make sure your business is set up properly. So There is a way to get no personal guarantee funding, and that is basically you got to join Credit Leverage X. But we've basically mastered it. And the main thing that's cool about this is it doesn't matter really what your business's income. It doesn't really matter what your personal income. It doesn't matter what your credit score is. We can get you money from the banks, but you have to come into our program and you have to work the system. And the way that we do it is we sign up for all these lines of credit. Well, first we have to make sure your business looks legit, right? You got to have a good business name. You got to have your LLC, your Dun & Bradstreet, your business address, your business phone number, your website, your basic business, whatever else I'm missing, like all the stuff that makes your business look legit. If you want to know what it needs to be, go and apply for a business credit card. Every single line on that application, you have to make sure you either check the box or you're not going to get approved, right? Do you have a business address? Check. Do you have a business phone number? Check. Do you have a business email? Check. What's your revenue? What's your industry? What's your NICS number? Blah, blah, blah. And then you can start to build your business up, but you have to be legit. Like the more we do this, like, yes, we kind of game the system by making the business like a brand new LLC look legit. But if it looks legit, you're more likely to become legit, which makes the banks more comfortable lending you money, right? Nobody's just going to give you money without some sort of backing, especially nowadays. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Like, you want to tap in on this?
Yeah, I think that's a good point they make. No personal guarantee funding really comes down to like, two major things. You have to have, initially you have to have good credit, because nobody is going to give you a funding in the beginning without any kind of personal guarantee. And then what you do is you build up your business to the point where your business is becomes like separate, meaning like it's like a baby. You gotta you gotta hold its hand, you gotta get it going, you gotta get it walking, and then let's say the goal is to make the baby ride a bicycle. You can't get the baby to ride a bicycle unless it tries and keeps doing it over and over again, right? Until it gets good at it. Same thing here. Once the business starts to, move on its own, generate its own income, and is bringing in income into the business. Now it's eating on its own. It's eating food. You don't have to feed
its
it.
Own taxes.
You don't have to feed it every day. Like, you don't have to be the one to to literally like spoon feed it. It's making money on its own. You as a personal guarantee are no longer having to contribute any funds or any kind of, other than managing the business money wise, no monetary contribution to it. And then the business starts to build its credit. It starts to become its own entity, and now it becomes a no PG and they call it NPG, basically no PG guaranteed business. And a lot of businesses, that even shelf businesses that have been around, they're still PG. They're still personal guarantee, because it doesn't matter if the business can be around for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. If the business does not have income, is not generating income, is not bringing any money to the business, it's not cash flowing through its own assets, through its own endeavors, the business is not generating income, it is still personally guaranteed. The only time a business is not personally guaranteed is when it has income being generated based on its own assets that it owns. It owns assets like real estate, like cars, like services that it can provide to other people that generates income. Then the business is now considered no PG, and the business can actually go out and get business lines of credit and actually get actual loans on the business without any personal guarantee. And that happens over a little bit of time. Now you can build that up, from scratch, or you can do it with your personal credit and then start building the business on your own. So there's multiple ways to do it. We know some ways that we do it with just net 30 accounts and opening up business accounts, doing that way, and growing the business. After 6 months, you can start getting your own trade lines, your own primary accounts to your business side. But no personal guarantee is the holy grail when it comes to getting unlimited access to money. And you can do that by starting off a business from scratch, building income, and then getting trade lines or growing the business to the point where it's generating income. You can actually now go apply for a loan or a personal line of credit, business line of credit, where you can actually create more money. And and now it's like, now you just get unlimited amount of money. And that's how you leverage the money that does not report on your personal credit. And you can actually start buying real estate, buying other assets, and you just, for example, I can kind of touch on this. I did this last week. I spent about $34,000 on some investments that I had bought, and that I turned around, and I basically, I invested in some marketing for us, I think it was, and I also invested some money into some other assets that I had bought. I think it was a Rolex I bought. So then what I did was I after 3 months, I had the money. I just used business lines of credit to buy it. And what I did was I used business line of credit to buy that asset. And then now I paid it all back. And guess what the bank did? The bank said, "Thank you so much for giving us 3 months worth of interest. We want to give you an extra $10,000 in line of credit because you paid us back. We want to give you more money because you paid us back so quick." And they actually want me to hold it because they want to incentivize me to keep spending their money. They're incentivizing me to spend their money because they're making money with me and I'm paying them back every single time. It's like a game changer. So when you have a business that's no PG, you're able to access the money. The banks are actually going to give you more money. You don't even have to ask for a line of credit. They literally increased my credit line after I paid everything out as back. So I paid it all back, and I got more lines of credit, and that's how it works. And it only works for those people that know how to use their money wisely, that are using their money in assets that are going to multiply, and are able to pay back the asset and create more money for them, for the business. And now the business can actually get access to. I have now like 53,000 with Funbox is one of them. And we have other lines of credit that we deal with, but like that's one I grew from. I started with like I think 12, 13,000 when I first started with that. So I grew up to 50 G's or more, and that right there it shows you that you can actually use your money wisely and create more wealth and unlimited funding with no PG business.
Yeah. What's also cool inside Credit Leverage X is we'll get you the first round of funding. You'll join our passive income opportunities like campaign marketing or strategic e-com that will pay out to your business, which will show that your business is making making a stream of income and making revenue. And then we can get you another round of funding after a couple months of growing your profits and so on and so forth, which is cool. So I think that we did that one good. Let's go on to the next one. This is more like a philosophical question, but how do you improve your money growth mindset? How do you, if people feel like they're stuck at a certain level with their money, how do they get out of that mindset to get to the next level? What do you think of?
Oh, okay. I mean, money growth mindset, you just have to get yourself out of the employee mindset. First of all, like if you're an employee, you got to get yourself out of the employee mindset. Second, you got to be able to think about, you got to be like that entrepreneur mindset where you're like, what can I do to make more money? And what do I have that's available for me? Like the resources available for me that I can create more money. Changing the mindset means you have to believe in yourself first, that you have the confidence, that you have the resources, and that you have the support there is to succeed. Once you have that down, then you can actually think about how you're going to go about doing that thing that you wanted to do or your goal to create more wealth, and how you're going to multiply it. Well, first, you have to do it yourself. Do the work, get the stuff done, and then you can show that you can actually make money on your own. Prove the concept that you're trying to accomplish. Once you prove concept, then you're able to multiply that concept. You're able to leverage, whether it's marketing, whether it's software, whether it's other assets that you can use to help you make more money. And then you start to build this machine, and then you start to create systems, and then you start to develop systems, and you start to maybe leverage people to help you. Hire an assistant, hire a setter, hire a sales guy, hire a client manager, whatever it is. You start hiring your people that are going to be there for you to support the things that you don't want to do every single day. That doesn't mean you don't watch them, doesn't mean you don't look at them, it doesn't mean you don't monitor them. You just have to be able to leverage someone else to do that task that you do every single day that needs to be done, regardless of whether you do it or not. As long as you're overseeing the work, you can get the work done. So that's how you multiply your time. So by growth mindset, you have to start growing, not only money-wise. Monetary is definitely the goal, but you have to multiply your time. When you start to think about how much time you have in a day, you can't do everything that you want to do in your life in a day on your own. It's impossible, especially if you're running, like me, running multiple businesses, have multiple assets, have over 30 or 35 tenants and paying me rent every single month. You got to deal with this every single day. and I'm still growing. So like, what am I going to do? I can't just manage everything on my own. I have to be able to have people that I can trust, that I could train, that are going to be able to multiply my time. And being able to multiply your time is really the factor of 5, 10, 15xing your income. You have to be able to first prove concept, create the streams, the systems, and then start hiring people that are going to help you multiply those systems. And then on top of that, multiply your money.
Yeah, I think that's good. And then like the only other thing is like on the other end, it's like whenever you do get a large amount of money, I always recommend invest it right away, squirrel it away, put it into something safe that you can't touch it anymore, and then wake up every day like you're broke. Even if you have your money working for you somewhere else, wake up every day like it's day zero, right? And you got to make some shit happen, and you won't even be worried about your money. You'd be more worried about, okay, I'm focused on the task at hand. I know what I need to do. I mean, I think that's the biggest problem most people have, is they don't ever take the time to figure out how to even make money, right? If you can make $10, you can make $1 million, right? And they just need to understand that it's a system like you were talking about. And then you have to basically make the system better, make it more money, and then keep doing the same work over and over, right? Figure out how to sharpen your saw so that you stay sharp, and then just do the boring work. And then you basically will get to the point where you know how to do it, and then you teach somebody else how to do it, and then you multiply yourself, right? But it's always kind of interesting because the swings of life, right? The natural rhythm of life. If somebody just all of a sudden gave you like $4 million, they think, oh, all my problems are solved. But at the same time, it's like, okay, now you have $4 million. How are you going to manage it, right? How much are you going to give to your relatives? How much are you going to spend on the house? How much are you going to do this, and this? And then all of a sudden you're broke again. And then you got to figure out how to get back up to where you were, right? So we go through these ups and downs, right? So it's almost better to, at least have financial harmony, right? Have an idea of how much money are all your bills every month. Everything above that, what are you going to do with all the money above that? You're going to put some on the stock market. You're going to put some into education. You're going to put some into, philanthropy, whatever it is. But have that conversation with yourself so that you know what is your financial harmony? What is a great life? How can you start saving money? What are some things that you really want to do with your life that you can start saving for, right? So then when you do get the money, you don't even have to think about it. You just put it in these buckets, and then eventually you'll have enough money to go and have that life experience. So be able to have that new car, that new thing that you want, right? Whatever it is. But then you can have at least a plan so you're going in the right direction. Because what happens is a lot of people, they either are broke as shit and they're panicking for every dollar, or they have the money, but they don't know what to do with it. And then they just spend it on stupid shit. And then eventually down the road, they realize, oh, I wish I would have put this money away for this, and this, right? So I think that's a good way to go about it. And then, just create systems, grow your wealth, build the foundation, and then build upon it, and keep building new systems and keep building new ways to make money.
Exactly. That's smart. I like that.
So how do you improve? Yeah. Let's go to the next one. So, Gino, do you believe in manifesting money? It's a loaded question.
Yeah, that's a loaded question. I guess my thing is I like to manifest. I like to focus my attention on not just on money. Like I don't like, oh, I'm gonna manifest money. It's like I'm gonna manifest my my ability to create money. I'm gonna manifest my ability to multiply my money. I'm gonna manifest when I bought my first piece of property, I would envision, like I would like have vision, like I would be like in this this flow state where I'm like, I wonder how it would feel like to have like 10 pieces of property and how much work it would take.
That's awesome.
And I would like play around with it in my mind and how much work it would take. And I thought about it, I was like, it's gonna do a lot of work. And I'm like, well, let me see if I get 2, how it feels. And then let's see how it feels. Let me see how it feels like when I get 3. And I'm like, hey, this is actually easier than I thought. And then I'm like, all right, let me get more. And then, I just keep, let me get more cars. I got 2 cars. Now I got 8 cars.
So you visualize, you play the scenario out in your mind.
I'm like, man, it's like, I thought this was going to be really hard. I have 16 cars. And I'm like, shit, I have 16 cars. I'm like, it doesn't feel like I have 16 cars. It doesn't feel like I have 20 cars. It doesn't feel like I have, 20 properties. but it doesn't feel that way. But
Yeah.
but you get to the point where you're like, man, I can manage a lot. And you're like, and you start to realize how capable you are. It's ridiculous. It just becomes like, but the thing is, it takes like, it's a step-by-step process. If you try to jump in on 20 properties at once, you're going to get destroyed. You try to get 30 cars at once, you're going to get destroyed. You have to grow. You have to learn. You have to grow. You have to become confident. You have to know how the systems work. You have to know who to call, what to do, how to get something fixed. Totally breaks. Who do you call? What do you do? Something happens. Like, who do you call? What do you do? Like, you have to know the systems in place, or you have to have the systems that you're going to create for yourself in order to manage those issues. And you're going to have problems. There's no business out there. I don't give a shit who says there's any business out there without problems. You're whenever you're making money, you're gonna have problems. It's gonna happen. Everything is gonna. People are gonna be people. Things are gonna break. Stuff is not gonna work. There's gonna be problems. You're gonna lose money in the process of making money. It's just gonna happen. Okay, that's just how it works. But it just if you just have to get yourself, mindset, like strength wise, like you become like a metal or whatever you want to call it. This thing that they shoot darts at you, they shoot guns at you, they shoot bazookas at you. You are not gonna stand. You're not gonna move. Like, you're here. Like, do whatever you want. I ain't going anywhere. Like, I'm fucking here. I'm not going. I'm going this way. You know what I mean? Like, this is where I'm going. You can come with me or not, but I'm going this way. And like, I don't care. That shit cost me this much money. I don't care. I'm like, I've lost over $350,000 in my endeavors, but I didn't stop me from going back and crying about it and trying to like go sue someone and try to get my money that I lost. That's old news. I got to go make new money. I got to go figure out what's next. And that's what kept me going. At times where people, go through bankruptcies, they went through some people would be destroyed if they lost $300,000. But me, $500,000 loss, what would you do, right? Would you just give up and fold, or are you going to get up and just keep putting the work in and then keep working hard? Realize that your success, you did it before, you can do it again. Just keep, if you start from nothing, you've done it before, you can do it again. So at the same time, it's just, you got to work hard, manifest your reality, and then the money is going to follow. The money money is attracted. It's a natural law. Money is attracted to success.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're going to make money if you're successful. So whatever you do, as long as you're successful at it, as long as you work hard at it, and you produce results every single time, you work hard at it, and you try to get better, you keep improving, you're not going to fail, because money will continuously come, because you can create money by being successful and by working hard and never giving up. And that's, I think, what manifesting is all about. Is you have to visualize it, you have to prepare for it, but you also have to put the work in, and that starts from day one, every single day. And when things get tough, when the world's about to crash on you, and you're super freaking depressed, you got to get up and you got to go to work. You got to get the work done.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take a different route. So I was raised by like hippies. And they always say you can fucking manifest shit, right? So I was really fucking broke. This is a while back, right? Way back. And then I decided I would start doing this thing where I would listen to this podcast when you go to sleep, right? It would tell you fucking like, I manifest money easily. Large sums of money come to me, blah, blah, blah. It was kind of funny. So I would go to sleep and I would picture myself counting $10,000, right? Because $10,000 was a lot of money to me back then. And I did it for 10 days. Straight, and then on the 11th day, I got a job that was going to pay me exactly $10,000 in cash, and it was just like, holy fuck, like it worked. But then I still had to do all the work to make $10,000. So I did manifest the money, but I also manifested the fucking work, which was a lot of work, and it was like, holy shit, this is a lot of work to get this money, but I did it, right? So I know that there is something weird that we can do in the realms of reality, right? And I think it did have something to do with, before I would fall asleep every night, I would visualize counting $10,000 in cash. And literally 2 weeks later, I had $10,000 in cash, and I was sitting in my car, and I was like, holy fuck, like I was thinking about this every night for the last couple of days, and now it's happened, right? So sometimes I forget that I can do shit like that. And maybe you guys can call it luck or whatever you want, but it was a weird experience because I intentionally did it. And then I did all the work and I made the money, and then I stopped doing the manifestation. But I bet I could do the same thing for $1 million now or some crazy shit. And I need to just remind myself that I'm like infinitely powerful, right? And I think we all are infinitely powerful, and we just don't always remember how we could tap into that, and how if you really put intention, because intention was the reason. It wasn't because it was because I've got natural crazy fucking skills and I help people and I have tons of value and I had a rare opportunity. But at the same time, it was a combination of what I wanted to have happened, and then I was actually able to make it my reality. So it was powerful. It was a weird experience. And then obviously I haven't been doing it lately. So I need to remind myself, hey, I could probably try doing that shit again if I needed to. But I think everyone should have their own relationship with attempting to manifest shit, because you never know, you might be able to actually try it and it works out like it did for me. And now I have no real reason on why it worked or what happened, but it did happen to me. And I think I could do it again, which is cool. So I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna go to sleep and manifest some money. You're on mute, but yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
It was a weird time though.
I really love that concept where you are the magician, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I think. First I thought I couldn't be a wizard,
Mm-hmm.
but being a wizard and being a magician, it's like there is this veil that's untold, right? It's an untold veil that we, a lot of people that are not spiritual may not understand this. If you're an atheist, you can turn this off now. But basically, if you believe in a higher power, if you believe in God, you believe in another realm of reality, where you may, you are able to tap into, get information, or you go into the next level of like enlightenment. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we're talking about here is there is that level, and I think, and I don't think it's related to the materialistic realm. Like you manifested something, you took something spiritual, and you manifested something in the physical realm, like money. Yeah. You manifested
counting the hundreds of dollars, the $10,000. I did that every night, and then it happened. It was wild.
And then it happened. But I think what really caused that result of the physical money was your desire to actually tap into that realm.
And I was actively searching for that opportunity too, which is
and then when you were actively searching for that opportunity, and then you did the work that was necessary to find it, because you didn't just sit back and wait for it to come. No.
It was serendipity. There was serendipity that it just happened to happen, but I still had to do the work.
It just happened to happen. Most of the time, sometimes you manifest, you pray about something or whatever, you manifest it. It comes later in the years. Like, like for example, getting into getting your favorite car, getting your favorite if you love dogs, like I always wanted a dog, and I eventually manifested it years later because I wanted to have dogs, and now my dog has came and passed, and I have other dogs. But like it's like you get to the point where like when you manifest these things, you start to realize that it's this realm that's out here, and you're able to do things in the spiritual realm as well as in the personal and the physical realm. So you can go from physical to spiritual and back and forth, but you have to be able to bring that information and knowledge, and you have to be able to put the work in. So whenever you're like, okay, I want this thing, I want this much money in my life, and how I'm going to go about, what is it going to take? How focused am I every single day to put that work in to do what I want to create? And I know it's possible. Like it's there. I already see it. I already visualized it. I already tasted it. I already smelled it, because it's already here. It's happening. It already happened.
Right.
For me, it's already happened. I already own, over $5 billion worth of real estate. I already own, $100 million worth of assets. I already own like as anything I want. Like I already have access to it. All I have to do is just bring it to me. And the way I do that is by putting the work in, and by continuously every single day chipping away at that ashlar we call, in masonry we call it ashlar, which is yourself, working on yourself every single day by being able to become more in tune with that frequency. And as you do that, and this is more spiritual, but you in tune yourself, and by doing things every single day, you're creating a frequency. It's like a frequency. You're creating a fluid reaction. You're constantly doing the same stuff over and over again. And as you start doing the same stuff over and over again, if you play music, never played music, like put a piano, for example. In the beginning, nobody's fucking good, right?
Yeah.
They all suck. We all suck in the beginning of doing anything. We suck at everything.
Then you channel that frequency.
And then you channel that frequency, and then you start to play the melodies, and you start to like, wow, this is exact. Same thing with life and work and relationships and and everything. You just have to do it over and over and just keep, having that frequency over and over again, where you can actually share those experiences with other people. You start to, travel with people. Like, when I like to travel and go places, I like to go to different places, but what, it's who you're going with, which matters, right? And that's what matters. So the more, when you go with the same person over and over again and go to different places, you start to have a frequency, you start to have a bond with that person, and then you start to be able to create more, things together. And I think that's the beautiful part about manifesting in the reality that we are in. And money just comes through that same manifestation in the realm of reality. So you just have to be able to pull that in and work at it. And I think that's kind of like the secret sauce, is that, it's not just thinking about it. It's not just like, oh, I want this money and, praying every day. It's actually like, doing the day-to-day things, writing it down, like you said, going to the gym every day, thinking about it, eating food, thinking about it, like writing it down, journaling it, reading a book about it, like just everything. Like, that's work, right? Reading a book about how to make money. Yeah. Reading a book how to make money, reading a book how to improve yourself, how to do sales, how to do marketing. Reading a book about anything towards that goal is going to get you to that goal.
Right. That was fire. That was awesome. I love the frequency, and I remember that, and then I forget it. So keep going.
All frequency. Yeah. That's science. I'm an engineer, and I believe I was born and I was an engineer in my past life for sure. Yeah. I was some magician, some freaking, God knows what. I was a mason for sure back in the day. I would not be here again. I mean, at the end of the day, like, there's multiple lives mentality. If you have a belief that you can actually create your life over and over again, well, recreate it the best way you can. Don't. I'll do it next year, next time I live. No, you have to do it now. Like,
do it this way.
That's why it's like, you don't know if you live a past life, or you don't know. Like, there's people that say, oh, they read your past lives, none of that stuff. What you know is you're alive now, and you can do something now. So do something now and actually make the difference now, and make the life that you truly want now, because then later on you won't live with regrets.
Right.
Wow,
man, we went on, so we're gonna have to do some more of this stuff. We're gonna have to ask you some questions about masonry too. I've been watching a bunch of.
There's a fucking lot of stuff, and I think it's very, very open. It's very open. It's not. There's no secrets. It's all real stuff, and everybody knows. They have a little bit of and everything. It's not religious. It's all like spiritual.
Right. No, I'm a truth seeker. I always just want to figure out what the truth is.
Truth.
There's truth in the frequency, and there's truth in the weird shit that I've done to try and manifest.
And engineering, and what's beautiful about engineering is engineering and science and law is physics. They come back to that same idea of like everything is frequency and everything is number. Everything is number, just like Pythagoras said. Everything is frequency, and everything boils down to your ability to manifest.
Yeah, that's fire. And then you just got to get better at that, and it's just like another system or another skill. But I love the idea of doing more things to manifest, like writing and reading about it or listening about it. Like there's more things that you can do to really get into that vibration and that frequency.
Everything helps you. Whatever you're doing every day, like whether it's studying something or learning something, like everything, whatever works, for you, just keep doing that same thing.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, masonry worked. Other things worked, studying, reading books, working hard works, that thing, whatever works for you, something for me, it was never easy to make money. I had to always work hard, and I knew that that's what I have to do. But then when it comes easy, you're like, wow, like I didn't have to work as hard. And it's like, it still feels like fucking amazing. Like, oh my God, like I didn't have to like grind every fucking thing in my life just to make this dollar. Right. Like, and it's like, because we're used to that, like I'm used to that. And we're used to doing that. So now when it actually comes easy to us, it's a blessing.
Yeah. No, that was kind of interesting about the $10,000 that I manifested, because it was a lot of work. Right. So I think I subconsciously always equate making a lot of money with doing a shitload of work. And I need to attach those and get into the easy money frequency. That's the goal, right? Someday, man, we'll be there. Cool. So let's do the last one, guys. We dropped a lot of value. Drop a 1 in the comments if you guys are liking this. We'll keep going. So does money buy happiness? That's the $1 million question.
I think money, money doesn't buy happiness. I think money buys freedom to do what you want. And it buys you time. It saves you time. Money collapses time, so you don't have to work as much to go to your vacation. You don't have to work as much to become financially free and enjoy more time with your family. You don't have to do as much to enjoy the simple things in life, because you're having to work so much. Your time is what's affecting you. So it collapses time. Making money, a lot of money at once, collapses time. You don't have to be a 60-year-old to retire. You can retire in your 30s. You can retire in your 40s. Like you can do whatever you want. But by making more money, you're able to collapse time. You're able to save yourself, the headaches of having to do how everybody is doing it, which is working for a living, exchanging time for money, and hoping to get a pension. I mean, I was mind blown when I first joined some of the companies I used to work for. These people, they're literally depending on the pensions that they got from the companies. Like if they don't get the pension, they would be like broke, like life. My holy crap, man. Like what if they don't pay? What if something happens? Like what are you gonna do? Like you're literally depending on this stuff. So happiness, money does not buy happiness. Money buys freedom, and buys time. So instead of exchanging your time for money, make more money to save time. Buy time. That's what it is. Use money to buy time. But the only way you're going to be able to do that is by making a lot of money. And by the only way you're going to be able to make a lot of money is by being able to manifest that money.
Yeah. I mean, as I've grown older, America, we're all about happiness, and like happiness is cool. But I found that the superior vibration, the superior thing I'd rather be in is peace. I'd rather have peace than happiness. And happiness is very internal. Happiness, you could have $1 billion and still be a miserable piece of shit. You know what I mean? But happiness is an internal thing. But I do think that money can buy peace. That's kind of my new thing. It's like, if you think about it, like it's hard to be peaceful or happy if your mom's sick, or if your family can't afford groceries, right? Or if you can't pay your bills. Like it's hard to be in a peaceful state of mind when everything is so expensive and you don't have any money. So in that case, in that equation, yes, money can buy peace, right? It can buy you peace of mind, buy you some happiness. It may not be forever. But I've also been broke as shit and way happier, than when I'm grinding my life away trying to make more money. You know what I mean? So my happiness is a mindset. But I think having more money, I've been broke and I've been rich, and I'd rather be rich every time. That's pretty much what it is. But I've been very, very poor, worse than poor. I've been like in a foxhole in Afghanistan, and I've been fucking happy, right? So money doesn't have to be everything, right? There's parts of life where it's about the experience, and you can be happy in just about any scenario. But I would rather be rich than be broke. You know what I mean?
Rather be rich than be broke, and rather be able to fly when you want, where you want, and not have to be restricted because of time and money. And maybe even worse, like some of these jobs, like they tell you you can't take vacations. I mean, that's so bad. Like, like who the hell do you tell me when I take a vacation? Like you can't stay home with your family. You got to come to work. Like the whole after the pandemic, who the hell wanted to go back to work? Like everybody's like, well, I can do my work from home. Why do I need to go into an office? Like, what's the difference? And I know they have these demands, like they have these, bring everybody back to work, because you know why? Because they want to control you. Like they want to control you. They want to kill your happiness. They want to destroy your happiness because you're happy at home. They don't want you to be happy. They want you to be miserable. They want you to be miserable, and they want you to work like a fucking slave, and that's all, right? And that's the problem we have today, is that we have the corporate world that wants control and wants to make sure you're a slave and maintain that mentality and work every single minute of your life to that way they can get the most out of you, for the time that you're there. And that's why they even though some jobs are considered salary, they still track your time, they still track your work. Then it's like it's not really salary if you're having to justify what the fuck you're doing every day. So at the end of the day, it's fucking bullshit. It's complete bullshit.
Money can buy freedom, and money can buy peace.
And it's like, why are we as people that are accepting this? Like that's the sad part. We have to say no. Like the reason that we can't say no is because we're dependent on these people, on these companies, on this corporation. We're depending, and the moment we give dependence to anyone or anything or any entity in the world, you start to become a slave. Okay. And now that's the reality. Separate yourself, stop being a slave, become your own boss, become your own person, and create something for yourself that's going to make you money. And that means things that anybody needs and wants, you can do. Engineering, science, whatever it is. Like if you want to sell trucks and cars, you want to get involved in like, the automobile, you want to get involved in like real estate, you want to get involved in these different entities, finances, whatever it is, go work, learn about it, then start your own, right? Go learn, we're learn about it, how it works, get the information, then get out and go do your own thing. You don't need to be working for someone else to be able to survive. You don't need to depend on anyone. You have the confidence, you have the skill sets, you have the ability, you have 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, you have a brain. Use what God has given you. The power is within you. You just got to be able to make yourself happy. Now, if you're happy just not thinking about not having to do all that work, it's so much work, it's just easier for me to go to work and just take time off and let them know, that's just a lazy route. And I mean, it's fine, but just realize you're never really going to be free. You're never really going to be free. You're always going to have that continuous dependence, and God forbid, they do layoffs and they do other stuff, which happens over and over again. I've seen it many times. People in their 60s and 50s, when they need it most, they get laid off. And then because they're getting the most amount of money, they work so many years to get to this salary range or hourly range or whatever, and then get laid off because they're paying them too much and they don't want to pay them. They're doing the same work that they can hire somebody new out of college to do. So it's like at the end of the day, realize that they're running a business and they're going to do what's best for the business, and that doesn't include you.
Yeah, you need to find your own way to make money and your own way to get access to capital and buy your own assets and create your own happiness and peace in your life.
Don't be dependent on anyone.
Yeah, don't be dependent on anybody. Be dependent on your people. Make sure you have good people, and then work together to make a fortune. Right? That's what it's
exactly.
About. So, all right, cool, everybody. I think we nailed it. Blow you guys' minds. Drop some wisdom in there. Please share this, like this, drop some comments, give it a like, give it a subscribe. And we'll talk to you guys next week on the Credit Leverage X podcast shenanigans, whatever this is.
And is there a way we can actually like put this on like the Instagram and people can review? We watch this because I know there's ways that people can just watch the whole thing, right?
Yeah. So we have it on the Credit Leverage X YouTube. We have it on your Gino Nadarov Instagram. We have it on the Facebook page and my Facebook profile. And then what we're doing is we're having our editor chop this up into individual videos going over each question, and then we're publishing them out on all platforms. So nice. People can review and watch this. And actually, I'm putting this on my the audio on my podcast as well. So
exactly. And you have it on Robert Leon show. I mean, just so people know where they can find this. If they don't get a chance to watch all this, they can go find this, and watch this stuff again,
Yeah, check out Credit Leverage X on YouTube. We also have a Facebook group where we have a community, and this is live in there every single week. So just reach out, send us a message, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.